Awesome. Cool. We are on. So welcome to the success journey. Today we have Jude Dauphin. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah, exactly like to say my last name, man. Yes, sir.
Sick, sick. So Jude used to run an SMMA in the real estate niche, from what I know, but he told me that he does something else different now. So I guess to just get us kick started, Jude, why don't you just go ahead and tell us like what it is you do?
Awesome, awesome. Alex, man, thanks for having me on board, man. So, yeah, like Alex said, I used to run SMMA, not too long ago, and it was pretty good. And I mean, I got results and whatnot. But when you run a marketing agency, you're limited amount. You're limited on the amount of people that you can help. Depending on the size of your team, had a lot going on. So I transferred into actually instead of doing a do it for you service, it's more of a do-it-yourself service. So I'm teaching the skills that I know to real estate agents, to realtors, and whatnot, so they can scale their own business. So that's ultimately where my focus is now.
Got you. So you have a pretty big Facebook group, is that correct?
It's growing really quickly. I mean, at the moment, let's see, we're almost around 700 people. And I mean, it's not like the other groups that have like 70,000 people, but like it's very highly engaged. Everybody's actively actually taking action. It's not quiet. It's a very loud group, and it's growing. Like I just started this group not even 7 weeks ago, so I think we're at a good rate.
Oh, dang, nice. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of curious, like, based on the name of this podcast and everything, it's really about people's journeys, like where they start, where they end up, where they're going, but also like the trials and tribulations, because I think a lot of that is lost in what you see online. You just see people's successes and stuff. You don't see kind of their trials and errors, like what ups and downs they went through. So I'm curious, I don't know, maybe if you could share a little bit about why you initially started SMMA, what kind of things you went through, what struggles, ups and downs, if you had any breakthroughs. And then I guess when that got going good, how did the transition into doing your Facebook group go? Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, no problem, man. So yeah, definitely like any other story of see, the word success, in my opinion, is like to the eyes of the beholder. Like because in my opinion, like although I've done very well, although I'm making progress, although I'm getting better and better each day, like and people come to me, man, how'd you get so successful? I'm like, I'm not even successful yet. Like in my eyes, to where I want to be. I haven't touched the tip of the iceberg yet. But this actually started. Probably the biggest trial tribulation started about a year and a half ago. Before I even had my social media marketing agency, I actually used to own a gym. All right, so I used to own a gym, and it was projected to be very well. Like my gym, it was pretty nice. So about 5 days prior to my grand opening, my lady actually went to preterm labor. With our twins. My daughter survived about 24 hours, and my son fought for about 3 months. Right. And then literally that's just when I opened the gym. So so that was the biggest trial and tribulation was, owning a gym and then trying to keep up with going to the NICU and my relationship and everything that's going on. I was able to actually scale my gym and get my gym tours going to like at least make good six figures the first year. But my relationship was in the dumps. I was making money, but I wasn't able to see my family. And that's when I transferred to doing more online stuff. And that's when I started doing online advertising. So, because once I started doing online, I had more quality of life. Quality of life, being able to work, from home, make money from home, spend time with lady. So that's when I started a social media marketing agency. After I let my gym go, I let it go because it was just too time consuming. And I was making money, but everything else in my life was just not where I wanted to be when it comes to not being with my family, my lady, and everything that's going on. I feel like my lady really needed me at that moment. So anywho, I transferred to having a marketing agency, and it went pretty smooth, and it was going pretty smooth, but I still feel like it was a time for money type issue. So that's why I transferred to selling my information more than actually doing it for people. So that was basically the biggest trial and tribulation. And it really tested, you know, it really tested me, bringing me through to what I could handle and like what I have the mental capacity and like tolerance to handle and whatnot. But ultimately, I'm here. So, and to make things better, like my lady is actually pregnant with twins again now. So we lost twins about a year and a half ago, but she's pregnant with twins again now. So all's well, man. But that was the biggest trial and tribulation so far, in my opinion.
Got you, got you. No, yeah, that definitely sounds like a lot to go through actually while you're juggling like a new business and then personal relationships. Definitely, I feel like that gets lost a lot of times whenever people dive really deep into something, especially things like money, because at least the way I view it, sometimes like money should be traded for things that make you happy. And if money is coming at the expense of making you happy, then something's a little bit off there.
Oh, very true, very true. Like the most money I've ever made, um, like I at a brick and mortar facility in my gym. Like I was making a lot of money, but then it's like the more money I made, the worse my personal life was. So it's like, is it worth it? So nonetheless, all in the past.
Hmm. What was it like at first when you were starting your SMMA? Like, did you have background in internet marketing, or are you starting from scratch? Like, what was the learning process like?
I took multiple courses prior on selling on marketing. All right, so I've taken more than a couple courses. I probably spent $14,000 worth of like just niche specific courses on marketing, Facebook marketing, just regular whatever every marketing you think of. So that's when I got started my social media marketing agency. Once I actually educated myself and used my own money to like test out, because I don't believe in just giving somebody a product that I never used. Like every ad copy, everything that I've ever done, I put my own money into testing, in different parts of the world, and then I give it to the clients that I have now. So I think that answered your question, but I forgot what it was, honestly.
Just like how you got started with SMMA and like what the learning curve was like.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, honestly, it wasn't that bad because I was marketing so hard. I was marketing so hard for my gym, and once you find like the right course and the right mentor, and I still have a good mentor right now. Once you find the right course and right mentor, it's very easy to get into the game. But of course, as you know, there's a bunch of marketers out there, so it's hard to stand out. So it did start off hard, but once I got my first client, the second one came naturally, and then the third one came naturally. And and then now I'm here I'm at now, more focused on selling my information than actually getting doing it for people.
Got you. I'm curious, how did you decide on the real estate agent niche, or like how did you break into that niche?
Hmm? Funny enough, my sister asked me the same question yesterday, and I was wondering like, how did I start it? But no, I was one of the people who was in my course. Not my course, but the course that my mentorship that I was in. His name is Aaron. Really good, really great guy. Like I don't know. I felt like Aaron inspired me because he was doing very very well in his marketing agency. He was making like he doesn't mind me. He doesn't mind telling me. Like he was making like $25K like a month in his agency. So I'm like, dang man, he's doing really really well. And he always had like no issues like telling me how he was doing or give me skills and giving me like little tidbits of information here and there. And yeah, so it mainly came off of me talking to someone who's very successful in the industry, and as well as seeing people who like newbie real estate agents that are struggling, and I had the answer to what they're needed. They're struggling doing like old school tactics that take all the time in the world, or just a bunch of nonsense in my opinion. So once I started like giving my information to like the newbie people around and they're getting good success, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm staying in this niche because a lot of real estate agents, they don't do well. I believe the field in itself has like an 87% fail rate. And I do believe it's just from the lack of marketing skills because I'm pretty sure they have good sales skills. I'm pretty sure they have good fulfillment skills, but not being able to get in front of people has really hurt a lot of people in the real estate industry. So once I started giving to other people, then I don't know, I felt good about it, and I decided to stick with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it sounds like you found like even within real estate, you found like a sub niche of like newbie real estate agents who were specifically struggling with like getting leads or doing their marketing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they're more they're more open to trying new things. If I go to a real estate agent who's like been in the game for like 25 years, whether he's doing good or bad, like they have their ways, and they're just like, this is how I do it. I'm not changing. I don't care if I'm struggling. I'm not changing the way I'm doing it. So new real estate agents, they're typically more, okay, hey, this is new, but let me try it out. Compared to the older ones that may be established or not even established, they get more friction when it comes to trying new things. So, yeah.
I'm curious, like, how did you kind of find out that like, did you already know that newbies would be open to this, or did you talk to a certain number of real estate agents to kind of start figuring out the market and like which people would actually be open to using Facebook ads and things like this?
It just happened that way. Once I announced that I was, marketing for real estate agents, like just newer agents came, they came to me and they're like, hey, we see you market for agents. Like, can I partake, whatever. So I didn't notice the pattern, that it was basically new agents hitting me up. I just noticed agents contacting me. I didn't necessarily know whether they're new or whether they're, seasoned. But after like the fourth or fifth, seventh one, I apologize, fourth, fifth, seventh one, I'm like, okay, all right, it's mainly new agents that are hitting me up. I did have a seasoned agent, but most of them were agents that just started a year. Sorry. Have a 6:45 alarm. Anyways, so yeah, most of them were agents that just started. So I'm like, you know what? Agents that just started are they're gravitating to me, so let me focus more on them.
Got you. So the way I actually found you, and I mentioned this to you, but I took J.R. Revis's training. He called it hypnotic client acquisition, which is like where you make your profile like basically really resonate with your target audience and your target niche and all that. And then clients or people, you start like being involved in the online Facebook community of your target audience. And then ideally, if your messaging is all good and on point and you're talking to the right people, they will start kind of gravitating towards you, which sounds like what you're mentioning. I was wondering is that like your strategy, or are there multiple things you're doing, or are there many other things you tried in the past and then kind of like one thing really started working for getting like real estate agents like talking to you?
Well, the first thing that helped, like JR, I set up my profile to where it was very attractive to someone who's looking for help. That was the first thing. And I started off really because I needed a result. I started off just asking people like, hey, can I market for you? Because I didn't have any testimonials at the moment. I mean, I knew what I did worked, but I was like, I don't have any testimonials to people who've done it themselves, so I can't really market or prove myself until then. So once I got about 3 testimonials, off the bat, then people start noticing whatever. And I just post testimonials. I'm completely transparent. I don't come off as salesy. I'm like, hey, I come off in a way that's like, hey, I know what I'm doing. If you would like help, but if you don't want help, that's cool too. Because just like Jared teaches as well, when you're not constantly begging people or like always in your face, then they actually want you more. I get like inquiries all like every week from people saying they want my help or whatnot, and I'm never directly asking if they want help. It's kind of, I think Jared describes it almost like back in the day, like when you male or female, the more you kind of like not act like you want them, the more they want you. So that's kind of what works. Honestly, so to answer your question, giving great results and posting testimonials and just being transparent, not trying to be like this, I'm Mr. Marketer guy, I'm the best in the world. You're just being a regular person that wants to help people and posting results consistently is what has attracted the most abundant amount of prospects, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like in general in life, like the more sometimes you like overinvest in things, you like want something so bad that your behavior starts becoming so eager, and it's sometimes not even obvious to yourself, but other people can read that and like neediness real quick, and then it just turns them off. Like this person, something they're trying a little bit too hard, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. They'll call it the scarcity versus abundance. If you're like, man, clients, people get turned off by that. But if you're like, hey man, if you want to come, if you don't want to come, cool. People are like, oh my gosh, and they want you more. I don't get it. That's how it happens.
I actually noticed that in a lot of like marketers things, like with Facebook marketing and stuff, like a lot of people I've noticed what they do is they do like webinars or trainings or something. And I think I saw this on yours somewhere. Like I've watched a few of your videos and stuff where you like teach somebody something and you're like, hey, like, you know, you can go ahead and do this yourself because I just gave you all the knowledge. So it's very like value offering, but then like there's always going to be people who are not going to have the time to do it themselves, or they don't want to learn it. You know, they got more important things on their hands. So then those people will be the ones who like reach out to you and are like, hey, can you do it like for me?
Exactly. Yeah. I've gotten a lot of those. I've gotten a mix of those. Like I've literally made like a challenge to where people can generate 50 buyer leads within 5 days, and they'll do it. You know whatnot. Some people don't. Some people do. It's just the nature of giving free stuff out. You know, some people actually take it, some people aren't. But yeah. So I do focus on giving like very, very high value, enough value that they can literally take the information and make a business off the information. You know, but what I've noticed, even with myself, even when us as humans like know what to do, like just having that mentor or that coach or that you know Facebook marketer that can help you through that. Even if you have the information, you want to have someone that's kind of coaching you through it as you're doing it. You know, because I've given the 50 buyer lead challenge, but I still have people, you know, who work for me, you know, who will pay me to just to talk about it more and make sure they're doing it right. So you hear a lot of people say, don't be afraid to give up your best information, and really don't, you know, because people will like go ahead and give your best information. People will be like, it shows authority. People will gravitate towards it, and they'll even if they know the information already, they'll still contact you and be like, hey, I want to know more, or I want you to walk me through it. So, but if you don't share your best information, then it's like they can look at you like, okay, you're giving me crap information. Like, why should I go with you?
Mm-hmm. Huh. Like something you said there actually really caught my attention. Something I started thinking about recently too is like a lot of times you can get information. You can get free information on YouTube. Like there's so much information. You can also get paid information through courses or trainings and stuff like that. Usually tend to be higher quality. But then what I've started to find myself, like even hitting certain roadblocks, is like you're applying the information, but you don't necessarily get the results that they claim. And sometimes it's, I don't know, like you were saying, like you might not be applying it exactly right, or there might be a few things off. And then sometimes you do need somebody to kind of like watch over your back and see if you're doing it right. I don't know what your opinion is on that, like the difference between like courses and like mentors, and like how they work together.
Oh yeah. Well, I can say for a fact I've done both, you know, and there is a difference. And let's see if I can put this in words. I bought a course on advertising, and I also bought a mentorship program on advertising. The course, only the driven, like, 'cause some people buy stuff out of impulse. You know, they're just like, oh, I want to do this. You know, they buy off the impulse and motivation, and then once the impulse and motivation leaves, they stop. You know, and they'll either one ask for a refund, or two just say screw it and just let it expire. You know, so and other people, you know, are able to get a course, have no kind of like accountability, and they're so driven that they'll make the course work. You know, so but I would say during the mentorship they have, you know, live calls, whatnot. It's accountability. They're making sure that you're doing the work, and they're staying on you to the point where you're almost, I'm not saying guaranteed, but you're more likely to be successful because you have someone who's not letting you lose motivation. Okay, so courses, if you're really driven, and you have to think to yourself, like, be real. Like, if you're really driven, and you are someone who isn't stuck on shiny object syndrome, who doesn't start and stop, then I would just get a course. You know, you can get a course and it will work. You know, but if you're someone who may lose motivation, you know, which a lot of us do, I'm not judging anybody, then a mentorship program, a coaching program is more your fit. You know, because just to the fact that you won't have to, I'm not saying you won't have to worry. You feel bad if you quit when someone's calling you every week saying, hey, let's do this work. You know, compared to the course, they just give you information, whether you do it or not, you already paid. So.
Huh. Okay, wait, was the mentorship program you had, did they have like weekly group calls or like you had like one-on-one, like
It was weekly.
being here?
It was weekly group calls, and then there was a yeah, it was weekly group calls, and then we had like like Q&A sessions in the middle of the week, or whatnot. So about 2 calls a week to where you're being held accountable at, And then, of course, they had us in a private group and whatnot, and they're checking on us. They're asking if we have any questions or what we're struggling with, and just keeping us on track. Compared to the course that I was in, again, I'm not talking about the course. It was just kind of like, hey, here's your course. Hopefully, you do something with it. You know.
Yeah, I definitely think there's only a very small portion of people who actually follow through the whole course. And even then, like a big realization I had after taking a few courses is like the course, I guess the information there is, you could say it's complete, but it's not quite like you can't just think that you're gonna just follow the steps and it's going to all just work out. Like you still have to have the entrepreneurship mindset where you're like, I just tried something in the course and it didn't work. I have to fix it. I have to talk to someone new. I have to try something new. I have to adjust it, micro tweak it. Um, like I had that realization that like just copying what courses says like is a pretty bad, or it doesn't work like as magically as you would think.
Yeah, it's no course is one size fit all. There will be some innovation that you have to do on your own part to make sure it fits your lifestyle or your learning style or something like that. Because I would say the course that I took, it wasn't a bad course at all. It was good and it gave me great results. It really advertising. But a lot of people in that course, they hit the first roadblock and they're just like, all right, screw it. Like I'm done. Compared to, like I said, you have to have the entrepreneur mindset to where it's like you can hit that roadblock and you're like, man, that sucked. But you know what? Let me find a way to, adjust the information. Maybe if I do this a little less, do this a little more in the course, then this is going to work out. And that's like I said, that's why a lot of people with courses don't do well. It's just the fact that, it's a course without accountability. Don't do well because they hit that roadblock and, they might not be like as flexible with the ideas and whatnot, and they don't fail. So, or not failing, they just don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you. I was wondering if you could backtrack and kind of go into detail, like how did you get your first client, second client, third client, the first few ones that got you started?
All right. So literally, I would say my first client, I just told him like, hey man, like this one, like, because I was looking for results. I said, hey man, look, I will just if you have any listings, if you have any kind of whatever for sale, like let me have it and let me market for it, and I'm gonna get you leads. Like I said, and I even told him, I said I actually pay for the advertising spend. Usually the with social media marketing, you tell the client, hey, you give me $100 and I'll run ads for you, which is completely a fair deal, 100% a fair deal, But I was just, like trying to make the offer even sexier, just because I wanted the results. So I just said, hey man, I will pay literally for your ad spend and everything. If you have a listing, I would advertise for it. So I don't necessarily recommend doing that, just to the fact that like you're gonna be spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars, But I mean, if you're confident in your ability to fulfill, then you can keep the client on afterwards if they're really really impressed, But that's just how I did it. Once I got the result from him, then everything else just kind of came naturally. But it did come from me actually going up to someone and saying, "Hey, I will pay for your ad spend and everything. Just let me get you a result." Because like some people are very hesitant with people online saying, "Oh, I don't want to waste my money," which is understandable. So I just like got rid of that objection by paying his ad spend for him and getting the result, then moving forward.
Okay. I'm curious because I've definitely, I've heard of that method. I've used it myself, or not like the paying for it part, but the free trials and stuff like that. But something I've run into and I've heard of other people as well is like sometimes if you offer a free trial, then the person receiving it kind of thinks like they don't need to do anything, or like it's just a free gift. Like, well, I'm just going to sit back and wait for the results. I'm wondering if there's like, is there a specific type of person that you need to find who's going to be on board with, doing their part, like calling the leads and following up and all that stuff? Or is that like part of the expectations you set with him in the first part? Like, hey, I'm going to pay and get you these leads, but you still need to do the follow up and stuff.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, and that's something I learned with my second client, I think. It's setting the frame, like completely setting the frame off the beginning, like at the beginning, whatnot, and just letting them know, like, hey, these leads are gonna come in quick. Because a lot of people think, that, okay, I got this lead, I'll call them when I get the chance. I'll call them 3 hours later or call them whenever it's convenient for me. And then they don't call them on time. The lead doesn't give a crap anymore, or the lead found someone else. And then they blame either the marketer or they scream out, oh, these are bad leads. So yeah, that does happen. And I would say, if you're running a social media marketing agency right now, that is going to happen 100%. You are going to, get someone on a free trial that just thinks that magic's going to happen. They can get these leads. Leads going to come in, just flow off like a waterfall or whatnot. And they can call the leads whenever they feel like it. And if the leads don't answer, they're going to blame you. So my recommendation is to literally let them know off the bat, that, hey, people who call these leads late don't get closings. People who aren't on top of the game, this and that happen. Just let them know the worst case scenario of things that they probably might be planning on doing. So if they do it and they don't get a good result, you got your back covered, because you let them know, like, hey, if you don't call these leads off the bat, if you don't call these leads within 5 minutes, I'm sorry, my Zoom thing. Anyways, if you don't call these leads within this amount of time frame, if you're not on it, heavy and consistent, you're not going to be successful, So now I will say, since I started framing it like that, people have been more serious. They've been calling leads more on time, and I've been having less complaints. Because before, in my head, I used to think to myself, like when I get a lead, I'm calling them right then and there, no matter what I'm doing. I could be in the bathroom or whatever, I'm going to call them. But then that's my mindset. But a lot of people don't have that mindset. A lot of people think that, oh, this lead, I can call them after dinner. So that the best way to avoid that is literally by framing it ahead of time, so they know what will happen and they won't blame you later. Because again, if you don't, they will blame you 100%.
Got you. No, that's definitely, yeah, setting expectations. I have another mentor who I talked to as well, and she told me the same thing. Like, one of the first things is like, hey, no matter if you're doing this for free trial at first, or if your full-time client is on this, you need to tell them exactly what to expect and exactly what they need to do in order for this to work, in order for them to actually get paying clients from this.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I agree.
Yeah. So I guess, so now you've transitioned to teaching information through your Facebook group. I'm actually kind of curious about that model. What exactly is you do, webinars or private live trainings in there, or do you have a course or something? And then what packages, or how do you charge people and stuff like that?
I have a couple avenues. I mainly, of course, give a lot of free information, information that other marketers probably look at me crazy for giving out. People can like I said, people can dang near build their business off the free information I give. So but at the moment, I'm about to launch my beta course. So literally, I just say, because I built so much rapport in the group, and the clients, not clients, well, potential clients, the prospects, they're in there, they feel very comfortable, they're talking, they're posting, they're liking, they're doing a bunch of stuff. So I literally just say, randomly, hey, I got this masterclass on how to do this in this time frame to get this result. It's $97. Who's interested? And they just start commenting down below, and it's just comment. Some people buy, some people don't. You just keep it moving. I don't pitch every single day. I make my pitches to value posts are a 15-to-1 ratio. They're gonna get 15 bits of value and content and cheat sheets and worksheets and trainings before they get one pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So after they've gotten a lot of value, then it's I dang near have the right to pitch, compared to people who just pitch. If you pitch every single day, your group's gonna die. So it's just what it is. So so that's my main avenue is doing master classes. And the master class in itself is just an hour of talking about Facebook ads, and and I mean, people buy it, which is cool, and they get a great result, which is more important. So the masterclass and the beta course is coming out. Once I drop the beta course, whatever, then I'll be able to get information to drop the course. So it's really just a game of being genuine, being transparent, giving value, and occasionally saying, hey, if you want a closer attention and more private lesson on how to do what you already know, then pay this and we'll get you started into a private group.
Okay, got you. So your main thing right now is like doing a master class where a bunch of people can sign up at once. So, through, an hour or two of a webinar, you can like make that cash, and then you're looking into running or selling an actual like info course.
Yes, 100%.
Got you. And then I guess in the future, do you have like a even higher scale of things you would take it, like mentorship courses or just like individual mentorship packages and things like that?
Yeah, I do plan on like going like scaling up to like doing, like you said, a coaching program and whatnot. But I want to see just off because of course you start off with a beta program. You want to get the feel of it. You want to see results you get. Results you're able to produce. The results you are able to help people produce as well. And then by those results you make your course, and by the course results you're able to say, okay, this is really good. Let me get a mentorship. But it's all. Let me start doing mentorship or coaching, whatever. But it all derives from the beta course. Because if I get just horrible results in beta course, then I have no business doing a mentorship program. Feel me? Because the mentorship program is going to be probably anywhere from like $3,000 to $5,000. Compared to the beta course, it's going to be fill in the blank dollars. So just significantly less. So yeah, if I start off with the beta and I don't get good results, I'm not going to get the mentorship program. I'm pretty confident I'm getting good results in the beta because I've got some pretty good results with the free content. But of course, that's down the line. I want to take things step at a time and not jump the gun and just say, hey, I'm really good at this. Let me charge $5,000 for this. And then people look like, wow, this is a really crappy product.
Got you. Something I was curious about, and I think a lot of SMMA agency owners knew or experience would be is like, there's like so many real estate agents out there, and there's, I imagine, so many people doing SMMA for real estate agents.
Yep.
Like how would you frame it such, like, how's the mindset of like being like, I'm going to do it for real estate agents, but that you're actually going to be able to like, how do I word this? Like the competition, because a lot of people are afraid of jumping into something that already seems like saturated. I don't know if you felt like that whenever you first got into it, or like what your mindset was going into that to like tackle something like that.
Gotcha. So I will say this, in a mindset that I want everybody to have, and the mindset to just about everybody I talk to, every field is saturated. Every field is saturated. If you want to try to market, if you want to be a marketer, that's saturated. If you want to be a personal trainer, that's saturated. If you want to be a gym owner, that's saturated. If you want to freaking open a restaurant, that's saturated. If you want to open your own tax business, that's saturated. If you're like, there's no first time doers anymore, unless you want to be innovative and like open your own business, like you make something new, like Uber, what's called Uber, it was in its own lane. Like another six driving companies now since Uber came out. So that's getting saturated too as well sooner or later. So you can't even make your own, you can't even do that. So if being saturated is your worst fear and that's stopping you from joining any kind of field, go ahead and just get a 9-to-5 job, because which 9-to-5 job is saturated too. Anyways, go ahead and get a 9-to-5 job because that'll be comfortable. Like at first, I was a little bit like, dang man, like crap. There are a bunch of real estate agents and real estate marketers, but it doesn't matter, because I will say a lot of people aren't taking action. A lot of people, even though there might be, I'm going to throw a number out, like 3 million real estate agents or whatever, and active real estate agents, probably only like 1 million of them are actually taking like action. So and just like marketers, if there's like 1 million marketers, only about 30% of those people are actually like doing something. A lot of people like getting the title. As soon as it gets hard, they just like quit. So the amount of people that are signed up with the title and the amount of people that are actually taking action are significantly not even close to each other. So again, that's kind of mindset I keep, is the fact that one, every field is saturated. Focus on your own business and like scaling that up. And two, even though like the field is saturated, not everybody in that field is actually doing something. A lot of people just have the title, they hit an obstacle, and they don't want to admit that they aren't doing anything, so they just keep the title on their Facebook. But in reality, they're not doing anything. So don't be discouraged. Like, everybody starts at the bottom.
Got you. Yeah, I think that's a great mindset. I definitely struggled with that at first. I was like trying to pick a niche, and I was like, oh man, well, this looks saturated. That looks saturated. Everybody's already done it. Everyone's already done it. What do you choose? So for me personally, I just chose a random one, orthodontist that I thought can pay. Um, but then I kind of realized this like after I took JR's training. I don't know what your feelings are on this, but there's kind of a school of thought out there. I forgot exactly what it's called, like your thousand true fans.
Huh?
Um, so basically, yeah, like with your Facebook group, for example, you have like 700 people and growing, like, and those people are loyal to you because they know you produce content for them, and they have like a relationship with you. So when it comes to buying something from either you who serves real estate agents or somebody else who also serves real estate agents, they're always going to buy from you, no matter how many other SMMA like real estate agent people there are out there. Um, so I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that.
About hmm, I'm sorry. I must have missed the question. Can you repeat that for me?
No, yeah, just the idea that like you can corner your segment of the market and make them your loyal fan base to
Oh
where.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. And that's what you got to do, and that comes from like just being yourself, not being pitchy, not because if you ever look at my posts, like I'll post results, but I don't say, but after every post, I don't end it in, oh, contact me for your marketing needs, or but I might say join the Facebook group, but that's like a very, 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 very soft pitch, like that's nothing, But other than that, like just being true to yourself, and it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. Just keeping it real, talking to people, like talking to your members as if like just how we're talking. I joke around with my members, I don't I don't put myself on a pedestal like on Mr. Marketer Man, and like just keeping it real and telling people your story and just being vulnerable, whatever, like acting like a real human will get you those 1,000 raving fans, whatever, that are willing to buy at any moment, compared to just, hey, I'm Mr. Marketer Man, I make X amount of this amount of money, whatever, I could change your business. Like, no one wants to hear that. People want to hear that you understand. So yeah, so once you got people, once you connect to people on an emotional basis, and they know you, like you, trust you more than just because you're a result, but because you're a caring human, then that's when sales just come off like nothing.
Oh, damn. I like the part that you mentioned about, because I don't know, I guess, yeah, the results are important, but they also have to trust you in order to like want you to help them get that result. And if they don't like you, they don't think you're caring, then they're not going to reach out to you.
Yeah, 100%. They won't. They will not. Yeah, yeah. And if they think you're just money driven, and you just that guy who's just like just money driven, basically. They won't. You can have the best product in the world, but people feel like you're just driven by money. You just whatever, people won't buy from you, even if they know that you're good. Even if you know what you're doing, that turns people off. It's just what it is.
Hmm. I have a question about, so going back to like the general journey and all that. This is something I like to ask a lot of entrepreneurs. Is just like, did you ever give up and like restart again, or did you ever reach a point of nearly giving up? I know myself, I've definitely hit several severe walls. I don't know if I would call it giving up or not, or taking a break,
Yeah,
but I'm just curious about your individual case, your story.
I've given up. Yeah, definitely. I think every entrepreneur would be a liar if they said they've never given up. I've given up twice actually. And because there's the thing, I'm a physical therapist assistant as well. I mean, I do that. I used to do that. I still do it a little bit. So it's a very nice paying job, especially in accordance to bill versus money ratio. Bill versus income ratio is very good for me. So I say there's multiple times where people have come up to me and they're like, which every entrepreneur is gonna have to talk with family members and friends. And they say, man, Jude, I think you just go back to college. Just go back to college and become a physician again, like you were talking about becoming. Your dad would love to see you in a doctor scrubs coat and all this good stuff. So I started feeding into that. I'm like, you know what? I mean, I'm smart enough. Like I can push myself. So I pushed entrepreneurship away. But here's the thing. Like every real entrepreneur cannot quit. You know, like I could say you can fail. It's okay to fail, but it's not okay to quit. Okay, like once you like quitting is like I don't away my computer. I'm not going back. Like I'm going to do a 9 to 5 job. Failing, so I guess I won't say I quit. I failed. You know, failing is more okay. Dang, this sucked. I'm not doing well. You know what's called. You start second guessing yourself, but you get your ass back up and you keep doing it. You know, so entrepreneurs don't quit. You know, we might have our moments. We might fail pretty bad. You know, but it will always be that itch like. When you're at your 9 to 5, like, man, dang, I'm better than this. I'm worth more than $25, $35 an hour. You know, that itch is always in the back of your head to the point where you start again. You know, because I thought I was done. I was like, man, you know, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna go to my good paying job and work that job for X amount of time. But then as I'm at that job, I'm like, nope. This is not it. And bam, what open up another business and it's been doing well since. So,
got you. Dang, that gives me so many thoughts just because like that itch, I totally know what you mean. And it's crazy. Sometimes I wonder if that's like innate, if that's like something that some people just like can't be okay with, you know, if they have a dream big enough, they can't be okay with like, you know, not pursuing it. They can't be okay with like, or if they've seen the grass is greener, they've seen the other side, they've talked to somebody who like lives the lifestyle they want or something. Like once you see it, you cannot see it. And then you're sitting at your like day job and you're like, oh man, like there's something on the other side of the fence that you can't, like you can't stop thinking about.
Yeah. That's 100% real, man. It's a genuine feeling that real entrepreneurs feel is just knowing once you know better, you do better. You know, people who are stuck in a 9 to 5, like if you try to talk to a 9 to 5 person, you know, not saying anything wrong with 9 to 5 now. Like 9 to 5s are cool. You know, if that's your mentality, then definitely live off that. You know, but once you open your eyes to, you know, the other side, you know, financial freedom, you know, being your own boss, you know, once you've seen it, even if you've seen a glimpse of it, you know, and you've seen your life progress a little bit towards that, it's hard to, you know, see that. You've seen a lot of it. You haven't reached it yet. You've seen it. It's hard to go from that to going back to 9 to 5 to where you're being pushed around, underpaid, told what to do on their time. And you're like, man, look, I know there's a life out there that's better than this, you know? So, but for a lot of 9 to 5 people, they haven't seen that light. So they're okay doing that 9 to 5 thing, you know, paycheck to paycheck for the rest of their lives because that's all they've seen. But once we've seen that light, we can't unsee it. And we're just like I want this, you know, and that's me. So I can't unsee it. It's there.
I love that. I guess like an extension question on that, because I feel like there's like in an initial phase where you see the light, whatever you want to call it. And then you're like, dang, that's my dream. I'm going to reach that. But then there's the process of actually reaching that and like realizing like the dauntingness of that and kind of figuring out like how much that's actually going to take. And that's like a whole, like, you could call it, I don't know, hell or journey or whatever you want to call it in itself. Even then I feel like I personally I realized that it was going to be so long. I had to like rewire my brain and retrain my mindset to develop, you know, an entrepreneurship mindset, because I knew what I wanted, but I knew I didn't have the right mindset. Cause like, in previous times I used to, you know, start and stop projects all the time. Like it's shiny object syndrome all the time. So I had to like train my mind to be like, stick with one thing for a long term, look for solutions instead of giving up, be constantly. So I don't know if you had the same, went through the same process of like, you wanted it, but then you had to train yourself to actually, get through the journey and go on the journey with a different mindset.
Yeah, I definitely 100%. I would say shiny object syndrome is real, and most entrepreneurs go through it. You know, and also another thing that's real is instant gratification. You know, wanting it now. You know, like not like thinking about the long game. You know, so that's one thing that I had without a doubt. You know, because I mean, I would bounce. I'd bounce like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna change that, and it just, and when you have that, and a lot of times signing object syndrome hits whenever whenever things get tough. When things get tough, all of a sudden, man, dang, holy crap, this is harder than I thought it would be. Then all of a sudden you see, oh, if I work with physical therapists, and market for them, they make blah, blah, blah. So you go over there, you start that up, and then you start getting a little traction, and bam, you hit another obstacle. You're like, crap, this is hard too. You look over there like, oh, if I do that, then it's going to be a little bit easier, and you go over here. So shiny object syndrome usually happens when you hit that one roadblock or things get tough, and then and it was sucks because that roadblock usually there's a lot of money, there's like a lot of success, financial freedom, and money on the other side of that roadblock. But a lot of people stop right there and like this is the financial freedom that you're waiting for, and this is the roadblock. This is you. People hit it and they're like, no, let me do something else. So then they don't go across the block and actually get the money well, not just money, but financial freedom, and stability that they want. So yeah, I've definitely had that. The biggest mindset shift that I've been able to get through, is with the help of JR and another mentor, Hugh, that I used to deal with. Was basically worrying about the long game. I only think about how it's going to be 6-7 months from now. Because like even with the Facebook page, I did my first pitch probably last week. It was a very good pitch, and whatnot. But nonetheless, we'll pitch for like the master class, and it was a very good pitch. It went very well. But before I was like, man, I want this. Like now, I want to be able to do this now. In the long, like thinking about the long game, the short game. Thinking about the long game over the short game is what's going to make you successful. Because if you want the money like right now, then you're going to be stuck in this rat race of becoming successful, just being unsuccessful and changing niches every other week and changing strategies every other week instead of doing one thing. Because if you can do one thing really good for like 6 months straight, you're going to be a beast. But if you keep stopping and starting, you're just going to be going in circles. And I'm speaking from that from experience, 100% experience.
How were you able to train yourself to have that patience and value the long game over the short game?
Literally from so many, because after, let's see, it came, I won't say more is from a training. It was more of just kind of like having a epiphany, like a hey moment one day. Because I was like kind of looking at myself as I went to the real estate niche. I was like looking at myself, like looking at all the stuff that I've done, all the projects. Because if you type like my name in YouTube, you will see a bunch of like I was a dance instructor, and then I used to play the saxophone. I used to make music videos. Someone came up to me one day and asked me what I do, and I gave them like a list of things that I did. So then they said, oh, and they described what they did, and they called themselves, oh, well, I'm a jack of all trades and master of none. And then that was the first time I ever heard that. Jack of all trades, a master of none. And I was like, holy crap, that's me. Like I do everything, but I'm not like crazy successful in everything. So once I kind of looked at all the things that I've done, I'm like, yo, man, if I don't like just stick to one thing, I'm not going to be truly successful. I'm going to be able to do a lot. Like right now, if you want me to play a song on a saxophone, I got you. If you want me to cook your food, I got you. If you want me to, I was selling food for a little bit too. If you want me to freaking market real estate, if you want me to train you as a personal trainer, if you want me to do all like I got so many things under my belt, but none that I'll say that I was an A+ at. So once I caught myself like in that stream, that's when I had a moment of, you know what? I'm not doing anything else but this. I'm going to master this and only do this no matter how hard it gets. And my lady holds me accountable too. She won't let me change anything else, like change the niches or nothing. Like so, and since I've like consistently just been with real estate agents, talking to them, training them, then I just got way better every single time. And yeah, so long story short, just me looking back at how many times I've changed, what I was doing, and having that epiphany moment is what helped me. So I won't say as much of it. It was more of it wasn't me training myself, but it was kind of me smacking myself in the face, realizing that hey. Like, bro, you're not gonna be successful if you change your path every other week. So that's what that was. Dang.
No, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. I was wondering if you can give like a timeline of like I guess how long you were working on your gym, like when it started, how long you stayed on that, how long you then did SMMA for, how long it took for that to take off, and how long you've now done the Facebook group, just to give people like an idea, because I feel like even for me, like it's really hard with all these people's testimonials out there in the world that you just see like, oh, this guy like makes 10,000 a month and he started 3 months ago. Like
Yeah.
stories, and like it really messes with your brain about your expectations of success and like what you're saying, like the long game versus the short game, because then your brain just automatically starts wanting like short-term pleasure. So if you're able to like spell that out for us, I think that would be really awesome.
I would say a lot of marketers feed off humans want for instant gratification. That's why they'll show you, hey, this person started 2 weeks ago and he just made $10,000. You know, like then it's like, oh my gosh, like I could be that too. You know, and they show you 2 or 3 of those, and you're like, wow, like holy crap. You know, like I make sure I show the people who've done it, who got really instant results, and also people who may have gotten results that took a little bit longer. You know, just to kind of kill that, just to let you know, like, hey, you might be that person who closes the house in 6 months, or you might be in the house, or might be that person that closes the house in 2 or 3. You know, like, but you're gonna close the house eventually. You know, compared to, hey, this guy just signed up today and somehow he closed the house next week. You know, because that's gonna like so that like I said that feeds on our need for instant gratification. So back to the question. So with my gym, I had a very good audience and a very large following at the beginning. So by the time I opened my gym, I already had like 20, 30 clients like ready to sign up. You know, so because it was 2 years of me just like doing a bunch of stuff and doing events and charity events, and I was in everybody's face. So by the time I opened it up, I already had packed full of gym. So that probably won't be the best example, just the fact that I kind of opened up kind of being successful, you know, and I don't want people to think that you're going to open a gym and be successful. You probably might take 2 or 3 months. So for around the first 4 months, I was able to have around 40 clients or so. I shut down in January because there was just a lot of stuff that was going on in my life. But then when I opened back up, I was able to get 85 clients in 12 weeks, you know, and then, well, again, that's why I was making the most money I ever had. But at the same time, I was the most miserable with with my lady and with my life. My parents weren't doing good, you know, with their health. Then I decided to drop that and have more flexible business. Social media marketing. I got my first real estate client. How fast did I get my first real estate client? I got my first real estate client within the first 2 weeks. Within the first 2 weeks, you know. But I would say that I still had people knew me from having my gym. People knew I was really good at marketing, so I kind of had an audience already. So the first 2 weeks I had my first client, but my next client didn't come till another month. So I'll say that. But then the next client after that came the week after. You know, so I went from 2 weeks to get my first client, another 40 days to get my second client. A third client came a week after. You know, it's and from then it's kind of like 2 3 weeks each and every time. So I would say honestly, if you can stay consistent for 6 months, do one thing, post results, not seem spammy or salesy every single time. I feel like you can get 10 clients in 6 months. You know, me personally. You know, and that's saying on the lower end of the spectrum. If you execute every single day, you know, you can get anywhere from 6 to 10 clients in the first 6 months with social media marketing. If you're just hey, I'm gonna make this work. With the group, I actually just started doing group not even 7 weeks ago, 7-ish weeks ago. So I have 100 people. I have around 700 people in there. So that's about 100 people a week. You know, which is great because that means in the next couple weeks I'm gonna be at 1,000. You know, and that's usually the landmark. So the groups, I feel like groups grow quicker and it's more scalable for your time because they're able to tend to more people at one time. You know, you're gonna sell a lower ticket. You're not gonna sell $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month like social media marketing agency, but you sell more people at a more consistent rate. Not consistent, but not consistent because it goes up and down. But you sell more people at once, you know, and less hands-on, you know, because compared to me fiddling with ads all day long, you know, I'm teaching someone else to fiddle with ads, and once they get my product, it's out of my hands. So honestly, groups I feel like is where it's at. They grow really quick if you're executing every day. So 7 weeks, around 700 people roughly. I think it's pretty good.
Got you. Wait, so just to clarify real quick, so you're doing your gym for how long exactly? Like a little over a year or something like that?
Yeah. My gym was open for a year. Like after the year he asked me to renew, I was like, I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine going to a brick and mortar business like ever again. You know, it took my soul away.
Okay. And then so at the point that you started your SMMA, you already had Facebook ads experience from doing your gym. Is that
Yeah.
okay? Gotcha. And then so you just reapplied that knowledge straight to real estate agents.
Yes. Because honestly, I'm not saying all marketing is the same, but it's very similar if you make a tweak. You know, it's getting in front of the right people, give them a call to action, and having a good product. That's literally what it is. You know, and fulfilling on what you promise. That's what I do with my gym. That's what I do with my real estate agents. I have great marketing. You know, I have a good product, and I make sure I fulfill on everything I say. Same thing with gyms. You know, it's every business has those three aspects. If you're able to do that, then you're able to get customers. You know.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I
Well,
guess we'll wrap up real quick. We have like around 30 minutes left. I guess closing thoughts. Like what has digital marketing and entrepreneurship allowed you to do, like lifestyle wise? Like how do you feel about it? Like how does this fit into your life? And like what's the bigger picture that you see as like, success?
um, honestly, like I said, success is in the eye of the beholder. Personally, like I would say, but it's given me a way to, balance my life. Because like I said, when it comes to brick and mortar businesses, you're trading time for money still. I was making good money in my gym, but I was in there 14 hours a day. I was away
Okay.
from, yeah, I know. I was away from family. My mom was sick, and it was like I couldn't go visit her. Compared to now, like I will be just like driving, and then there'll be a sale going in. I get a sale, I get another sale, I get another sale. Someone contacts me, I get another sale. So it's giving me the flexibility to live the life I want and make the money I want to make. And the possibilities are endless. It's completely endless, and it stretches as far as you're wanting to work. So I love it just because now I'm able to spend time with my lady. If my parents are feeling good, I'm able to be there. I can't say, hey, I'm at the gym. I'll be here till 7 p.m. even though I'm in there at 6 a.m. I don't have to say that anymore. If my parents ain't feeling good, I can drive there. It's not so hands-on anymore.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's how it's affected my life. I'm able to make money now. I'm able to make money now and not do half, like maybe a tenth of the physical work, and I'm able to keep my relationships up to par.
Got it. Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely I think that's a lot of people's reason for starting entrepreneurship is pursuing lifestyle or having more time and better relationships. So I'm glad you shared that. Everyone has different definitions of where they want to end up, but
Yeah.
that's part of my goal with this podcast is, figuring out like what different people want and then how they're stepping towards that or how they got there, things like that. So I really appreciate you sharing today. Thanks for being on the podcast.
It's all good, brother, man. If you ever need me, man, just reach out.
Okay, awesome, Jude. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and I'll end the recording right here.
All right, perfect. See you later, brother.
Wait, hold on just a second. Stop.